Hi guys, so I just wanted to show you what I'm doing right now with sampling different scents that I just recently purchased. And one of the reasons I'm sampling them is not only to see how different they smell in the soap versus how they smell in the bottle, but also because this particular supplier doesn't really provide notes on which soaps will turn brown and which ones will discolor. I got all these from Heaven Scents Candle and Soap Supply. And so this one right here is Wedding Cake. This one back here is Black Cherry. This is Coconut right here. Cake Bake, which I absolutely love the smell of that. It really smells like cake, but even sweeter. Like it smells like cake before it's been frosted, but still sweet. So I really like that. And then this is Cappuccino. And this smells really good. It's almost like an overpowering cappuccino, hazelnut. Sorry, it's hazelnut cappuccino. And overpowering and a touch, almost like a little bit bitter. So I'm thinking at some point I'll try to mix in a vanilla or maybe even one of the frosting scents with it to kind of make it smell more like hazelnut cappuccino with cream, right, or with milk. And then this one is actually from Daystar Candle and Soap Supplies, and I know this one will discolor brown, and you can see it's already discolored brown here, but I just absolutely love the smell of it and wanted to make a heart in it. And this is Chocolate Covered Marshmallow, and I really like the scent of this because it smells like chocolate, but chocolate that's been sweetened. So there's like bitter dark chocolate, but this smells like a dark chocolate, but very sweet, and a really, really light sweetness in there with it, almost like a touch of a tarty sweet, if that's making any sense, but sweet. So I really like that. I'm excited to see how all these scents do in the soaps. Again, as I'm describing them now, I'm just telling you how they smell in the bottle. And the black cherry is very strong, very tarty black cherry. The coconut back here, the coconut smells delicious. It smells like a really deep coconut, but also has some light tones in it, so it has a lot of depth to it and also some high notes in it. It almost reminds me of coconut, the scent of coconut when it's in lip balm, like a chapstick, so I really like that. And then Wedding Cake, it not only smells like cake, but it almost smells like it already has almond frosting on it, and it has that really, really great almond touch to it, you know, like a cake that's already been frosted, unlike Cake Bake. Very excited to update you more on how these soaps turn out in terms of scent, how they smell in the soaps, and also coloration. While I'm doing that for myself, I might as well share that with you guys so you can also benefit from knowing more about kind of how each of these fragrances performs, specifically in melt and pour soap, because that's where I am right now with my soapy adventures, with my soap skills and comfort level. So I'm not quite there yet for working with lye, and I will be soon. I will get there, and also just purchasing it and storing it and everything. I'm kind of just finalizing those details to it. So right now this is just an update on how these perform in melt and pour. I didn't put any colorants in them right now, so I will update you in a little bit. And yeah, and you'll see that right after this. Hi guys, so it's been about a day, and I just want to tell you about the few scents that do smell a little bit different in the soap versus the bottle. And the first one is actually Wedding Cake. It smells more like cake in the bottle with frosting, like an almond frosting, and then in the soap itself, it smells to me more like a buttery almond frosting. So very, very buttery, and it has the almond frosting. It smells more like that to me than anything else when it's in the actual soap. And then the other one is the Black Cherry, and this is actually so much more tart in the soap than in the bottle. And I thought the bottle was very powerful, but this one was like knocks me off my socks. It's almost so strong that it kind of irritates my nose in the soap. So I think I'm either going to just reduce the percentage, or, you know, again, this is a melt and pour soap, so maybe it'll function differently when I get into the cold press soaps, but as of right now, I'm either going to need to reduce the percentage or just use it for myself and not give it to friends and family because it's super tarty. But I don't know, maybe I have some friends who really like super tarty. I'll talk to them about that. And then the last one is Cake Bake, and I just kind of wanted to do a little bit of a revision on what I think it smells like, because I did start to smell it in the bottle as well, a little bit more like this, that it smells like really sweet cake. It smells so much like a sweet cake mix. It smells almost more like a cupcake mix. Really, really sweet cupcake, mix that you have just baked, and it almost smells like strawberry cupcake in a way. So much so that, I had a family member smell it, and they were like, oh, is that the strawberry cupcake you got? Because I bought some strawberry cupcake from Daystar, but this is Cake Bake. It has a really sweet baked smell of like cupcakes. That's really the best way I can describe it. I love a strawberry cupcake, so I am super happy with this. I even went on their site and I noticed that their Cake Bake is sold out, so that was interesting to me. So I think other people love it too. So I absolutely love it. That's just what's happening with my nose, that it's smelling like strawberry cupcakes in the soap, in the bottle as well, the more I was reviewing it. But so if you love strawberry cupcake, totally go for it. I don't know why it's smelling like that to me. That may just be my nose. But they actually refer to it and label it as Cake Bake. So I'll see what happens when I get it into cold press soap, and I'll let you guys know more about that. So this is, all the other scents are the same as I previously described in the bottle versus in the soap. It's just the wedding cake, black cherry, and Cake Bake, kind of an update on that smell. But yeah, the black cherry became a little bit tartar, and the wedding cake started to pick up more of its frosting scent and a buttery almond frosting. So that's the update on that. And as you can see, the chocolate covered marshmallows, it's definitely dark. The wedding cake is actually becoming a little bit darker. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm going to let these sit out for a little while, and I'll show you what happens, because sometimes it can take a week or two for things to discolor, for fragrances to discolor the soap. So, all right, so we'll come back in about a week. All right. Okay, so it's been about 2 weeks, and you can see now which scents have discolored and which ones have not. And I'm happy to say that the chocolate-covered marshmallows definitely discolored to a brown that I really like. That, if I wanted to have a brown colorant to a soap, I'd be very happy to just go ahead and use this as is and not try to put any kind of vanilla stabilizer in there. So I really like the way that looks. This is wedding cake, and I knew it was going to discolor, so I don't know why I put it in the rose shape. I should have put it in another heart shape, but you can see this is like a light tan, and it's not even really a light tan that I personally like, and I wouldn't like it for a wedding cake soap. So I'm definitely going to have to invest in some vanilla stabilizer for that. And then this up here is the Cake Bake, and this one actually is a kind of a nicer light brown, and this was all in opaque goat's milk melt and pour soap. So obviously it's definitely going to function differently and discolor maybe a little bit differently in clear melt and pour, and also I'm very interested and excited to see how these all discolor and function in cold process soap. But this is the tan for the Cake Bake. And just to talk to you again about the scents and kind of where they ended up, how they ended up smelling in the soaps. So wedding cake, to me, it still smells like almond frosting and sometimes a very buttery almond frosting, so that's wedding cake. And then black cherry, even after having a couple weeks, it still smells very much of a tarty, like almost too tart cherry, so I may just use this for my own personal use, unless I ask some of my girlfriends if they really like tarty cherries as well. And then this is the coconut, which still smells amazing. It smells fresh and uplifting and very, very cheery and very much like fresh coconut, and not overly sweet. It's not an overly sweet coconut. It's not, like, it doesn't remind me of maybe like a coconut macaroon or anything like that. Like, it's not overly sweet. And to me, that's actually nice. I usually like really sweet scents, but with my coconuts, I prefer more of a natural coconut scent. So, but it does have a little bit of sweetness to it, just not overly sweet, and very fresh and light, yet it has like body to it, which I like. And then Cake Bake, to me, it's still smelling like it has a touch of strawberry cupcake in there, and I'm not sure why. And I actually kind of originally thought that, but I was like, no, I'm just imagining it. But then after I poured it and other people were mentioning it too, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm not being crazy. So that's Cake Bake. So I love that. And then chocolate covered marshmallows, it definitely tastes, or smells like, whoa, it smells like marshmallows have been covered in chocolate, so it's got that sweetness from like the marshmallows, and it almost smells like it's a chocolate that hasn't been sweetened, that's been poured over marshmallows. So it doesn't have like a sweet chocolate and a marshmallow smell. It has like a not a bitter chocolate, but a sweetened chocolate smell plus marshmallow. And in a way, it actually kind of reminds me of, remember that cereal Cocoa Puffs? It almost reminds me of that smell of Cocoa Puffs. So it's not crazy, crazy sweet in terms of like getting a chocolate sweet smell. You're getting the sweet smell mainly from kind of like a white fluffy marshmallow. So I thought that was interesting. And then this is cappuccino hazelnut. If you need a scent in a soap or in any product to wake you up in the morning, this cappuccino hazelnut will do it. It is such an eye-opener. It smells like hazelnut coffee that was just brewed. It doesn't have any cream or sugar in it. You know, it smells like that. Boom, you are getting up. I personally think coffee smells bitter until it has its cream in it. So to me, it smells like a little bit on the bitter side, but I think that's just because coffee in general smells bitter to me. So sorry, I don't know why I'm stumbling on my words today, but yeah, so it definitely smells like cappuccino hazelnut that was just brewed, no cream or sugar yet, so it'll definitely wake you up. And I think in the future what I may try to do is actually mix this in with some vanillas I have or some vanilla cream I have, scents, to see if I can kind of get more of a cappuccino hazelnut after cream and sugar have been added. So that's what happened with the scents, and that's what happened with the discoloration. Interestingly enough, cappuccino hazelnut didn't discolor. Coconut did not discolor back here. And then black cherry, even though it has this really dark color to it, it didn't really discolor either. So that was very encouraging, and that was nice to see. And I actually think this looks really cute, this Cake Bake chocolate covered marshmallow and then cappuccino hazelnut. Like, I think that'd be really cute, you know, just even without any colorant, just the way the scents naturally discolored them. Like, I think that would be like a cute little set, you know, to like put that in cellophane and send that to someone. So Mia, if you're watching this, these are probably coming to your little, coming in your package. So I was going to say little, but it's probably not going to be little after I'm done with it, but I love it. So yeah, so that, I think that was kind of a nice natural thing that happened. So I'm happy to send her that, make some of those for her, because I think that looks really cute. So, all right, I hope this is helpful to you guys just to kind of see how scents can be different in the bottle versus in the soap a little bit, you know, and also just how they will discolor and how sometimes, you know, just to see how they discolor, because sometimes they may discolor to a nice color and you don't need to worry about it. So, all right, I hope this is helpful, and I am very nerdy, as you can tell, but I'm having so much fun, and I do love to do stuff like this. So, all right, I hope everyone's well. Bye.